what you do to me. I will forgive you, but I can't forget. And we're back at the State of the Tourism Industry Conference in the beautiful Turks and Caicos. A lot of great things happening in the conference. A lot of good conversations
Definitely.
happening. Caribbean working together, everybody getting the idea that they're stronger together, that
Yes.
rising tide
Floats all boats. That's right.
Nicola, why don't you go ahead and tell us who you are and what you do?
So I'm Nicola Madden Greig. I'm president of the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association. So we're a 60-plus year organization that is the private sector arm to the CTOs. The CTO is the public sector and we are private sector. So we have 32 destinations that are members of the CHTA, as well as close to 500 individual hotels, attractions, DMOs, etc. So we are the voice of Caribbean tourism on the private sector side, and just like CTO, we work together jointly to ensure that the vision of Caribbean tourism continues to grow. So we came out of the pandemic strong. We saw a big return to almost full 2019 levels for nearly all destinations. Some have already experienced double-digit growth. And we are now looking to the future to see how through collaboration and partnership, as you rightly said, which helped us a lot through the pandemic, we can continue to not only thrive and survive, but to grow our industry in a sustainable manner.
Now, of course, the private side of the tourism engine, as it were, you would be constantly thinking about innovation and new ways to do things and
Definitely.
tapping into everything that's happening in our world. And how does that work for you? So how does that work for you? Where do you see that going?
Well, when I took over as president, one of the things that I did was we actually established a technology task force, because there's a recognition that embedding technology in tourism is a very integral part to ensure that we move forward in a very aggressive way. So we looked at not only technology from the point of view of marketing, and digitization and making sure we're on other platforms, but also from an efficiency point of view. So of course, AI is a big talk now. How is that going to impact us? And I think we as a region can look at some of the really good things that will help us to more reach our market, but also to ensure that we have our efficiencies and use our talent, which is our people, in new and interesting ways to really deliver services above and beyond our customers' expectations. So that is a big platform that we sit on. The other element, of course, is ensuring that we continue to evolve our human resources. Upskilling, retraining, there are new pieces of business that are coming into tourism now, new directions. The market is asking for more and more authentic experiences. That's something the region has been working on. We have moved away from sun, sea, and sand for a long while in terms of the only platform and reason to come to the Caribbean. And we've looked across the Caribbean region, and while we do promote one Caribbean in terms of a destination, we understand that there is a wealth and breadth of diversity and uniqueness of each island. And so when I say to somebody, have you been to the Caribbean? And they say, yes, I've been to this island or that island. I'm from Jamaica, or from Barbados or Bahamas. Or I said, how many islands have you been to? And they may say 1 or 2. I said, no, you haven't been to the Caribbean yet. When you can tell me about 6 or 7 or 8 or 9, then you can tell me you've really enjoyed the Caribbean. So we are really focusing on a multi-destination experience, really looking at all the things that make us unique and different. We are out of many one, and it is diverse cultures. There is a mix that is just very unique to us. And I think as people discover more and more of what there is to offer within the region, you'll keep coming back again and again and again. And we do have already a high repeat guest ratio, but we're looking to grow that and ensure that those ambassadors for the Caribbean go out there and have more persons come and experience the diversity that is the region.
All of the things that the conference focuses on, whether that's creating an experience, whether it's culture and tapping into the culture and succession planning, creating excitement in the next generation, all of those things, they're all very interconnected in this industry.
Yes.
And this industry touches everything.
Everything. So we talk about linkages, which is important. It's not just the forward facing, the hotels, the attraction, but everything that comes behind that. So it's manufacturing, agriculture, the creative industries, if it's technology, if it's IT in terms of just basic infrastructure, if it's social, services, legal services, accounting services, how do we feed and really build out other industries using tourism as the driver of the economy. And that's a big focus for us, working with other partners within other sectors, creating more linkages networks, allowing persons to really understand tourism. And COVID really allowed that to really bubble to the top. Because when tourism shut down, everybody who didn't realize they were in tourism woke up and said, where did 50% of my business disappear to? So, I was supplying these products, but I didn't realize. And if you think about it, Caribbean has roughly over 19 million residents, right? And we welcomed in 2019, just over, I think it was 32 million visitors. So in terms of economies of scale, if we are looking at moving to maybe 40, 50 million for the manufacturer or for the farmer, you're now not thinking about providing goods and services to just your residents, but you're thinking of a much larger population base. So, and that's what we're trying to let people understand, how much tourism can drive everything else. So development of airports, transportation, it's really linked and embedded right into the communities, and every single solitary person is in tourism.
The pandemic was often, for many sectors, and tourism sounds like certainly was, a big reset.
Yes.
An opportunity to say, okay, we slowed down, there was panic there, but it allowed us to emerge stronger.
Definitely.
With a clearer vision of where we need to go. Mm-hmm. What excites you the most about what's over the horizon?
I think what excites me the most is the potential. WTCC did this economic impact study, and they said by 2032, the region could look at 2 times GDP growth, an additional 1.34 million new jobs. And that potential that we have, and doing that in a sustainable way, I think is what excites me, that we can really use tourism as a big economic driver, again, in a sustainable way, working collectively. We're seeing big countries all over the world, for example, Dubai, use tourism as their major forward-facing industry. And we have been doing this all along. And in many years past, we were told, no, you need to pivot out of tourism, you're too dependent. And we're saying, no, we need to ensure that all the benefits are derived. And that way we will be more sustainable, because if we build and have those tentacles down in the ground, it feeds into itself, and you develop a stronger manufacturing sector, a stronger agriculture sector. And all these visitors that are coming to our shores are also going back home and demanding those goods and services when they reach home, and wanting to share those with family and friends. So again, it drives export, it drives a lot more. It drives, our creative industries. People want to see our performers in their hometown, and a lot of our artists are being called to perform. It drives food. We're seeing a lot more restaurants with Caribbean cuisine popping up all over the world. So from a strategic point of view, it's not only what we can do within the Caribbean, but how we can export the Caribbean brand.
It's always great when governments and industry work together.
Definitely.
So much more can be done when they're collaborating. Just like you see in your membership, so much can be done when we all work together. It's a very exciting time for the Caribbean. It's so fantastic to see a show like this and all the conversations happening. The future's certainly bright, but it doesn't happen without solid leadership. So thank you very much for your leadership.
Thank you.
And the private sector of this incredible engine that is Caribbean tourism.
Thank you, a pleasure. I'm really happy to be here and hope to see you soon, visiting some more of our islands.
I need to see many more islands.
Yeah, you have at least, another 30 something to go. Pleasure.